welcome in Scott Swanson today, head coach for the women's volleyball team. And Coach, you had a Sunday off from matches this week. You just had one match on Friday at Kentucky. And did the extra rest or the extra practice kind of let you as a staff do anything different this week heading into a couple of home matches?
I think we got to focus on a few things, in-match adjustment things that could help us. We'll see. We still have 3 more practices this week to continue to do that. I always think this time of year having a little bit of a break is always very welcome for the team and sometimes the staff too. It gets to be a grind. We've been on the road a lot, and it'll be really nice to be rested up for 2 home matches with a lot of events going on this weekend on top of volleyball.
And we'll talk first about Friday coming up against LSU. Both your opponents this weekend you faced, I think it was just 2 weeks ago, on the same road trip, only at their place instead. But first off, on Friday against LSU, it's very, like you said, action-packed this weekend, especially on Friday with Dig Pink match and the Alumni Night. So we'll start with that match. And you were able to win for the first time in over a decade at LSU. Coming back now with them coming to Columbia, what are some of the adjustments that you're anticipating they make, and what are you looking forward to in this rematch?
Well, I think they're probably going to try to come after us with their serve. I think they're going to, defensively try to slow down what was working for us, which would be our pins. It's going to be a much different environment for them, and hopefully a more friendly environment for us with a lot of fans supporting the Dig Pink cause and hopefully packing the Carolina Volleyball Center. I really, I think we can't overlook anyone. It's one of those things where they're going to come back at us with a revengeful attitude, and we have to go after them from the start. It can't be, well, we beat them last time at their place, so this should be an easy match for us. There are no easy matches for us. Every single point of every single set, we have to be more sharp and focused and just be ready to compete and fight. And that's kind of the message. So we're ready for a tough one, for sure, from LSU. They have a lot of pride. They have a lot of good athletes. They're well coached. It's going to be a good volleyball match, and we have to prepare for the best, for their best, and we will. So we're excited for another challenge, and obviously to be back home is going to be pretty nice for us.
You'll have an extra special atmosphere in the CVC on Friday with Alumni Night. I think you have 15 total alumni and staffers coming to support the team and be recognized at halftime. What does it mean, every year to get to have this alumni event and to welcome back so many of the legends of the program?
I think it's really important. It's one of the first things that I tackled when I took over the program 6 years ago. I felt like that was something that needed a lot more attention. I feel like our current players need to see and thank and feel from these alumnus, like all the building blocks that they've laid for the future athletes that came after them. And I've always been big on making sure that those people feel, appreciated and still a part of the program. We try to send out, we have a team Facebook page with alumni, and we try to, keep everybody through social media involved with how we're doing. And I think it's important for them to see that we're on our way back. We're playing a better style of volleyball. We're getting better recruits. We're, hopefully getting more respect and building the program back to where it should be. And I think they're a big part of that. I think they need to be felt. They need to feel like they're a big part of that because they have been. So just a thank you to them, and to be able to, talk with them about the old times, and hopefully some of them get to talk to our current players and maybe help them out with some areas that they're struggling in. But we have some Hall of Famers coming back. We'll have 3 Hall of Famers back this weekend, one of them being on our staff. But that'll be pretty cool. And we appreciate their efforts in coming back, and they get to watch a football game and a couple volleyball matches. So it's just a fun time, but I think it's very important for us.
And back on the court, the 2 kind of key members of that win at LSU a couple weeks back was Coco Toe Williams and Megan Kirkland. And it seems like in the last few weekends they've been kind of more cohesive defensively. Coco's had probably her best couple games in a row defensively. What have you kind of seen from the 2 of them recently to help kind of encouraged you going forward with kind of their confidence and style of play on the court?
I think it's just really, really focusing on the strategic part of how we're trying to defend teams. We're trying to put them in areas of the court where that particular hitter hits most of the time, and we have all the data to back that up. And so I think it's just constant reminders throughout different rotations against whichever team we're playing that, hey, we got to be here, we got to be disciplined, we got to stay here so that we're actually in the right piece of the pie to defend on the court. And that's kind of how we split it up. If the block is taking away line and part of the middle back, then we can't have a defender standing there behind the block. We have to have people around the block to dig the ball. And it seems pretty simple, but it happens really fast in our game. And we're just really working on that through having them watch video on their own as well as with the coaches and through our scouting reports. But just the discipline to think ahead and know where you need to be before something happens, I think makes you able to react more quickly as a defender and using your eyes the proper way. So I think, through their senior leadership, and they're very high IQ kids as far as volleyball and school, but they learn quickly, and they've been doing this for a while. And I think, in some points we're moving them around. Like Coco can play left back sometimes, and Megan can play middle back, and sometimes we'll switch that depending on who we're defending. And so it's a little extra responsibility and extra things to remember when you're playing in a different defensive spot.
Well, I'll let you go with this. On Sunday, you have Texas A&M coming in, and they're one of the top 4 teams in the conference, and obviously it was a tough match at their place 2 weeks back. What were you able to kind of take from that match and kind of reinforce and get the team ready for it coming up this Sunday?
Well, number one, Texas A&M was just on fire at their place. I mean, I don't think we've come up against a team that's played better than that. So part of it was just that they were on fire. They were so almost perfect in that first set that it just we could do nothing right or wrong. They were just doing everything right. And I think when Texas A&M has to come on the road to us, it could be a little different situation outside of their big arena and their fans, their crowd. We usually, in the past, I think 3 years, the past 3 times they've played at our place, I think we've gone 5 with them, winning 1 and losing 2, both of them maybe 15-13. So we always seem to step up against them when they're in our gym, and maybe they don't play quite as well as they do on their own home court. Now, this is a different team this year, so it's hard to say. But I expect it to be a much more competitive match, but also a lot of respect to them. They're very, very good in every position, very experienced, very technically sound, and they still have a chance technically to win this league and be a really good seed in the NCAAs. So we're going to have to play our best and most focused volleyball match of the year to try to beat them at our place on Sunday.
All right, Coach. Thanks for your time. Good luck this weekend.
Thank you.